All right, brother.
All right, buddy. What's happening, man?
What's happening?
How are you?
Good, yeah. You?
Fancy seeing you here. They've done a great job on this, haven't they? They're actually amazing the difference in that wall.
Yeah, the
Colours, like.
Jeez, you know we're getting older, don't we?
I can't remember what it was before though. It's one of those things you're like,
Jeez, that's a fine wall.
It is.
How was this morning? Were you over in Selbridge?
Over in Selbridge, yeah, for a while, yeah, and then came back to Leixlip. That coffee shop, great little addition.
Yeah.
All the 9:30 crew were out having coffee, so.
Yeah, coffee's nice as well.
Yeah, it just brings, it's one of those things, brings people together, doesn't it?
Jeez, I crashed my first car here, man.
Did you?
2009.
The Glanza?
No, the Polo. Right at this junction.
Wow, just nearly happened again.
Really, yeah. Had red neon lights underneath it.
You had a couple of great cars back then, man. My thing when I was a teenager is, and I still have this thing, I'm like, how fast can I get somewhere? So like I lived in back at Glendale Meadows, like, and I used to have a bike, and I would just pretty much time myself every day, and I'd leave as late as possible to see how fast I could get to school.
You weren't that competitive either, were you?
School would start at 10:10, and I'd be like, right, it'd be like 15:15, I'd be like 5 minutes to get down to school. I'd be burying down them stairs, throw the bike in, lock it up, legging it down to class.
Comfy college.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Do you have any memories when you were like leaving school?
Actually do, yeah. First to third year wasn't a great period for me. I was part of a group of lads. We were taking the piss for a few years and we were acting the bollocks. So from first to third year I copied Shane Flatman's homework every single morning and failed a few exams in the junior cert, so that wasn't great. The old parents weren't too happy. I remember actually a couple of years later I found a junior cert card still in the plastic in the glove box.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So you got a bollocking?
Oh, I got a bollocking, and I knuckled down then. Transition year presented itself and the opportunity came around, and I actually slowed down. I got a chance to do a year in transition year, and all my year actually went ahead.
Yeah.
So that was an absolute godsend. I met a lot of my good mates in transition year, knuckled down, studied, and scraped by. Like, and it was interesting. Like, I was always tactile learner, so always good with the hands, and art and construction were probably my favourite subjects. But languages and science and history weren't. So. Tried to work hard on all of them, but ultimately scraped by, and I think I got 310 points in my leaving cert, and I was absolutely over the moon.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, and parents were delighted because it wasn't a repeat of junior cert. What about you?
Skimmed through. I think I just pipped you, man. I think I got 320 points.
Of course. Of course. Typical.
But no, it was absolute. I remember that day I was so nervous. It was just complete relief. I think I got like 3 D3s. I vividly remember that because I just scraped by. But similar enough to you, to be honest with you, I can look back and say I didn't have any interest in any of the subjects. I was just big into sports and anything that got me out of the classroom, so I'd be signing up for all the teams. But yeah, skill was more of just a social, friends, bit of crack. Just messing most of the time. I just really struggled to sit down and learn in that environment. So, it was a big sigh of relief just to get enough points. And I think I had a couple of sports courses that were very early back then on the CAO. But again, I didn't have a clue what I really wanted to do. But I think I just about got the points for 2 or 3 different courses. So, big sigh of relief.
Yeah. And did you when you were filling out the CAO, did you know that there might be a career in fitness?
It was, to be honest with you, I remember going to some chat in UCD, and it was back then the big sports courses were in UCD or DCU, but you needed like 500 points for most of these courses. And I remember just going there and being like, right, that's not a career I can go for because I'm not going to get anywhere near it. But I think I was fortunate that I was probably at the cusp of just a tiny bit of a wave in the fitness industry, where it was 4 or 5 courses that were literally just starting. And one of them was the one in IT Blanchardstown, and it just started that year. And there was one in Carlow, and they were courses that were just created. So there was very little known about them. Even the CEO, the counsellor, or whatever you go to see, she wouldn't tell me anything about them because there was no information about them back then. But unless you were getting 500, 550 points back then, there wasn't really a career in sports or fitness.
And I remember when the guidance counsellor in Compy College sat me down, Miss Hanlock, I think her name was it?
I think so, yeah.
She sat me down and she was like, right, so what are you thinking with CAO? And I actually didn't even know what CAO meant. My knees are sweating, and I knew I wanted to do an apprenticeship because subconsciously I knew that I might not do well in my Leaving Cert.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to put stuff down that gave me false hope. I think leisure management was 440 at the time, and I put that down because it might have been something I was interested in, but ultimately I knew I wanted to be a carpenter and do an apprenticeship because I thought that's what the reality was for me, like that I was going to achieve certain results in my Leaving Cert that would make me veer into the construction industry, like. So I tore up my CAO.
Yeah,
which is wild.
So what happened, Dave, when you went to do your apprenticeship?
So I finished school in 2007.
Yeah.
Which is mad, but basically during that time apprenticeships were it was like a done thing. There was it was very popular to do an apprenticeship, and a neighbour of mine put us in touch with a carpenter who was local enough, glorified builder really. We were doing a lot of extensions, roofing, tiling, stud walls, RSJs, all that stuff, but I loved it, but I actually didn't understand what the protocols were for an apprentice, and it turned out I didn't get registered with FOSS, so he abused the idea of having an apprentice, and especially a good one, because if he had looked after me I wouldn't have left the industry. I was really taken advantage of with my time and my effort, and I was working for 60 hours a week and I was making €230 a week, and
serious graft.
I was working my arse off, and I was really enjoying it because actually I was taking before and afters of the extensions we were doing, and the roofing and the windows, and I loved it. And from start to finish we finished the jobs, like. But basically when I didn't get registered with FOSS, I realised that I should have been entering my phase 2, and when he told me that I wasn't registered I was really pissed off, so I left and I went back to the drawing board, and I busted my ass for 8 months, and I had a conversation with my dad about it, and he said, if you're not happy, leave. So I did. But I was working 7 days a week because I worked 5 days during the week as a carpenter, and then because I wasn't earning much money I worked 2 days a weekend on SuperValu, so I worked 7 days a week, and thankfully SuperValu took me on full time, where I fell back into that for a couple of years. To be honest, I was trying to figure out a few things and
where to go next.
Didn't really know what the plan was or what I was going to do, but thankfully I was playing sport and I knew GAA was my crutch really. Kept me focused, disciplined, gave me a great structure, and I was working in SuperValu, and I was still hanging around with the lads and having a bit of crack at the weekends and stuff, but I was going nowhere, and I knew that, and all the lads were moving forward. They were all finishing college. Some of them went travelling. A lot of them went travelling because the economy crashed in 2009. So when the Celtic Tiger crashed, all bets were off really. The economy took a dip, and then a lot of the lads went to New Zealand, Canada, New York, Australia, and then I was working in the supermarket, like stacking shelves and still trying to figure it out. So it was only 2012 when I went back to college.
Oh, right, yeah.
So that's the journey there. It was
nice.
Mad to talk about it because I haven't spoke about it in a long time. Like,
yeah.
But back when I was doing an apprenticeship, you started in college then, wasn't it? You went straight in.
Yeah, so I would have finished 2009 in Convy College, and again, just had a load of different options. But luckily enough, the only college I'd actually gone to, because you know when you're in the leaving cert, you go to a few different colleges. I'd only been to IT Blanchardstown, so I just put that at the top of the list. And again, I didn't have a really clue what I was gonna do or what the course was like. But I just fell into that. I would say complete just pot luck. Signed up for it. And got into that course, but I kind of continued my habits and trends of school, where I didn't really do homework. I was lazy, just laxed off, didn't really care about it for the first year. So, but then as I got into it the first year, near the end, maybe even into second year, I was like, I'm actually interested in some of these subjects, and it was mainly like the strength and conditioning, the personal training. Had a couple of good mentors. And I was like, I think I could get into this. And it was kind of a mind shift where I just matured and grew up. About third year, and I actually started knuckling down, and I kind of copped on. And because before that, it was just, most of my mates didn't go to college. They all just did apprenticeships, and I was the only one probably going through college. And I didn't have any kind of part-time work, didn't have any money. So it was just, in that kind of transition period. But yeah, the course ended up fell on my feet, and third and fourth year in particular, where I turned a new leaf and really got an interest in it.
Yeah, it's interesting when you say mentors, because I think when I look back, I was so lucky that I had male mentors in my life that like put their arm around me. And a lot of people would say, like, I suppose if they look at us now and they look at what is going on and everything that's unfolded, it's like, yeah, but when you reverse engineer our journey, there was a couple of figures in my life anyway in particular that like really put their arm around me and looked after me, because around that time in 2009 to 2012, like the road not taken, I could have went down a certain road and I didn't, and it was thanks to like Ronan Quinn in particular.
Yeah, same
for us, the two of us, because, and I don't know like how he seen the potential in us, like in general, but back in 2011, 2012, that was the key for me to believe in myself, to have the structure, the accountability, to lean into sport, be disciplined enough to show up to training, understand your worth, your self-esteem builds because they believe in you. And I suppose
big time.
From a coaching perspective, that's what we now do for a living, is we're coaching adults to believe in themselves. But it all started when we had mentors.
Yeah, he was a big figure actually in both of us, because he really turned a new leaf in Convy with the senior team. He ramped things up in his training routines, and he was really good at the one-to-one chats as well. And the big thing for me, and I know you were definitely a better player than I was, but you still had a belief in my abilities. And I was telling him I was big into strength and conditioning, and I wanted to start taking a couple of the sessions. And he let me, like, I remember back in the day, I was only maybe second, third year in college, and he was like, yeah, belt away, take the boys there for a session. And I was standing in front of all the lads, 30, 35 years old, and me, I was only about 20, and taking these S&C sessions. I'd say if I look back on what I was doing, I'd say they were laughable. And
that was the time that I was looking at you as a real leader.
Really, yeah. There you go.
And it just shows you like that he believed in you, and then you were the one leading the sessions.
Yeah.
And you're only 20.
Yeah, it's funny how he had a big impact on, from a coach perspective, you know the way. Show you what you can do with a good setup, and when you instill belief in people and you get a good routine and structure set up,
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He's a great man. He had a big impact on our life for sure.
Big time, yeah.